You want a home that looks like this, but yours end up looking more like this. What do designers and architects know that makes their spaces feel so much more sophisticated and put together, even when they're not using very expensive items to decorate? Hi, I'm BaiXu. I'm a licensed architect who spends way too much time and money and life thinking about this topic. And I have noticed that there are a handful of tiny, specific things that designers do again and again. So the next couple of minutes, let's go through what they are, why they work, so you can use the same techniques to make your home look elegant, feel good, easier to live in, no matter what your budget or style. You don't need more decor, but rather better looking everyday objects. So most of us obviously want our home to look calm, tidy, beautiful, but in reality, a lot of the things are just left out around the house. And when those everyday items are ugly or cheap looking, they look like clutter the moment they appear. When the things you actually use are a bit ugly, you feel like you have to keep hiding them away. So then the room starts to feel a bit bare. So you go and buy decorative pieces, ones with no real purpose but you think look pretty, just to fill it back up. So you end up paying twice over to buy the storage and the real estate so you can hide the things you need, and then once again to display what isn't useful but you like the look of. Isn't it kind of funny when you think about it? But all of this becomes unnecessary when the functional objects in your life are already beautiful. I mean, everyone is different, and our tolerance for visual stimulation and decor also varies from person to person. Some people want absolutely no decor out and clean surfaces, whereas others are comfortable with more. But almost everyone feels better when the things that are out are lovely to look at. A kitchen counter full of lovely functional things feels curated even when it's just spread across the counter everywhere. A shelf of mixed beautiful objects look charming and lived in rather than messy and chaotic. And as soon as you can make the switch, you realize that keeping your home tidy can become a lot easier. So look at the things you use and touch every day. Which ones are ugly but necessary? Start upgrading those first. And slowly but surely, you'll find it easier to keep your home looking pretty and tidy without actually doing more. But of course, you have to accept that certain practical objects in life just aren't that pretty to look at, like cat furniture. But this is actually one of my future projects I've got going on in my head. So be sure to look out for aesthetically pleasing cat furniture products from me in the future. Which image looks lovelier to you? One of the simplest changes you can make for a more beautiful home is to get plastic decorative objects out of it. Plastic, I think, just looks really temporary. In general, it does not age well, and it just doesn't have any natural beauty in the material itself. So manufacturers hide that weakness with loud, saturated colors. I'm not saying all plastic decor is ugly, because there are some beautiful plastic designs out there. I mean, for example, this is a plastic designer chair that I think costs quite a bit of money considering what it's made out of. However, if you were to put it next to a simple wooden chair that costs a fraction of the price, or maybe just one that you get from a flea market, I feel like the wooden one just looks more timeless and is also very warm, and it'll still probably look quite lovely in 30 years' time, whereas the plastic one will look a bit more dirty and discolored. For the same amount of money you spend on a beautiful plastic designer piece, it's way more likely that you'll find a beautiful version of pretty much the same object in ceramic, glass, wood, metal, marble than you are in plastic. Now, I'm not saying you must banish every piece of plastic from your life, because that's just not practical. But if you're really serious about making your home look super beautiful, then evaluate every plastic object you have in your home and just decide that if this could be replaced with a more aesthetic version that's not made of plastic. When you pick up any object to buy, ask yourself, can I get the same item made out of a different material that would still serve its purpose? Prioritize weight and texture. A heavy ceramic bowl or a solid wooden tray feels so much more expensive and chic than its plastic version. Almost anything looks better when there's a frame around it. And the effort of framing it says that I picked this up, I love it, I'm keeping it, I want it on display. And we tend to treat the things we chose as worth more. For example, I would never take my very expensive degree certificates that I earned with sleep deprivation and tears and just take that to the wall. It's too valuable to me. My to-do lists, on the other hand, are never getting framed. I don't treasure them. In fact, I'd be happy to never see another one as long as I live. So framing is step one, but there's another trick that separates a wall that looks nice from a wall that looks really, really nice. And it's all about the empty space that's around the art. Look at these photos and point at the one that looks better. If you reach for the right side, yay, you picked exactly how I hoped you would, because that's also the ones I would have picked. Have you ever noticed how spas, Apple stores, and luxury shops display their items? Every item is given so much room to breathe, and it creates an impression of exclusivity and importance. Now compare that to a flea market or thrift store. It's just crammed with objects where nothing stands out. Overcrowding tends to make even valuable pieces feel a bit cheap and insignificant, while empty space makes every object look more curated and important and beautiful. It's the same reason a single painting on a huge blank museum wall looks significant, whereas if you take it out of its massive frame and just put it on the floor somewhere, it's going to feel really ordinary. So if you're going to frame photos and artwork, add a mat inside the frame. Cheap and easy to do, but makes everything look and feel much more premium. Even a simple white or off-white mat instantly makes a piece feel more considered. You can also have a lot of fun with it. Play with different colors and patterns if you want, even different compositions. And if you have a chaotic or super colorful gallery wall where it's not really tying together, you can try to make them look more cohesive by making the mats in a more similar color. Before we continue, I want to quickly talk about Rayon Design, who is sponsoring today's video and is one of my favorite tools to use ever. Rayon Design is a CAD platform that's built for interior designers, architects, developers, real estate agents, students, and anyone that's interested in layouts. It's super simple to use and frictionless to start. You don't have to download it, it's fully web-based, you just open it and start designing. If you're a professional designer, you know the effort of bouncing between so many different softwares for drawing, rendering, presentations, schedules, and Rayon condenses all of that into one platform. You can just import your existing files or start from scratch, create super accurate technical drawings or schematic designs, detailed plans, millwork, whatever you fancy, and transform them into client-ready presentations without ever leaving the platform. So you can skip all these exporting, importing, reformatting steps. They also have over 10,000 CAD blocks with top, front, and side views, including parametric blocks that you can adjust right into your layout, or you can generate custom ones using their AI panel from images or text prompts. Explore different materials and finishes, and do transformations that would normally take forever in seconds. You can apply custom properties to elements in your drawings and automatically generate linked tables for specs, quantities, and cost summaries. And because it's cloud-based, your whole team can collaborate in real time from the same source. So if you want to try it out for free, I've put the link in the description below. It's definitely worth checking out if you're tired of juggling 5 different programs just to get through one project. Have you noticed that the most interesting arrangements rarely sit in a perfectly straight line? If you haven't noticed, then I'm here to make you notice them. Think back to those gallery walls for a second. The really interesting ones that's always featured in design magazines and coffee table books are never arranged in a perfect grid. And it's the same thing for objects that's arranged on a shelf, on a mantelpiece, and these objects tend to roughly settle into a soft-looking triangle. When you group decorative objects together, the most pleasing setup often just uses 3 items that form a subtle triangle shape. Straight or even arrangements feel a bit too static and boring, like someone just carefully lined everything up and give up because they don't know what else to do. Whereas triangular groupings look just a little bit more curated, more intentional, and more interesting. Don't stand the set of matching objects in a straight, evenly spaced row. Do move them around and gather them into a loose cluster of 3s instead. Mix the heights, mix the shapes, let a couple of pieces overlap. And if you're stacking like a bookshelf, make it go zigzaggy, like multiple triangles. If you've got a big flat surface like a dining table, a coffee table, a kitchen island, don't leave it bare, even if you're super minimalist. Without an anchor, big surfaces tend to look empty and strangely uncomfortable. So if you can add 1, 2, or 3 intentional objects in the center, it instantly makes it feel a little bit more lived in and like it's a more charming and welcoming space. It doesn't need to be like a really, really big object, but it does need to be big enough to have some presence. So think of like a vase, a sculptural bowl, a tray with a few items, stack of books. If this video made sense to you, you might want to check out my other decor videos about how to make your home look and feel expensive. In the meantime, I'm actually gonna go and frame my to-do lists, because even though I don't love them, I think they're gonna be part of my life for a really long time, so I might as well make them look nice.